We've got Alan and we've got Tom. Obviously, Farnborough fans, if we haven't put things together. Really looking forward to seeing you lot play this season. By the time this video's come out, we've had the first game of the season and we'll be actually going into Farnborough v Torquay. But for you two right now, as we'll go a bit more into like the club's history a bit before, we'll start with Alan actually. How are you feeling going into the season? What are the sounds around the club? What are the realistic aims? What is it?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've just come off the back of our own episode with someone at the club. A lot of the players that have re-signed and the players that come into the club, the new players that are coming to the club, they're all they all seem to be sort of batting off the same hymn sheet. They all want the same thing. They all want promotion. They all want to do really well. They all want that sort of success. Based on last season, we missed out on promotion by, what was it, Tom? 1 point we missed out.
1 point off the playoffs.
Yeah, off the playoffs, sorry, yeah. And the players, the players from last season have obviously been there and done it, and the new players have seen what's happened last season, and they want to be part of that success, and they want to bring more success. So I think for us as fans, and for us at the podcast, I think playoffs is probably where we want to be. We
I
want
would put
to
you
go that
in
little
right
bit
in there.
extra.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from an outsider's point of view, I mean, we were quite Torquay fans with everything going around. Yes, I almost shut off on the South last season. I won't lie to you, but I think the big aim of this podcast is for us more than anything, just to get more educated, give a platform, as I said before, and actually just kind of respect the league and get rid of football league syndrome, as Mark White told us about last week. But I think, I mean, let's look at your squad now. There's some really good squads in there, and I think we played really good football last season. Just casting my eye back to the games, to the ones I tried to remember. But I think when we were in the South, so when we went in 18-19, it's a totally different league. Now it's really competitive. It's going to be really kind of
Yeah, well, I think we noticed it with when we first came back into the South a couple of seasons ago. It was a strong league then, and I think most fans would have said, look, just consolidate and don't get relegated at first time going. But we narrowly missed out on playoffs in that season, and we had a really good side then. Compared to now, the team that we've got now, I don't know if Tom would agree, but we've definitely got a better side now than we had even last season, and we've retained quite a lot of last season's squad as well.
Well, I think the only notable sort of expenditure was Jordan Williams to Dorking.
Yeah.
So he's a good player.
Big loss. But we've recruited well in his position with Casey coming in from Woking.
Yeah, that is a good sign. I was just going through your squad now. You've got Sam Smart in as well.
Yeah, he's ex-Eastleigh. Fantastic.
Yeah, I remember him against Torquay. I remember him actually winding up the pot side because he died, but it was a tricky winger. I do remember him, so he's a good player. But yeah, and you got Joe Hay as well. Did I read that correctly?
Joe Hay.
Yeah. He joined us last season.
Okay, so you had him last season. The reason I'm pointing him out, right, as I do a lot on this thing, isn't because I know anything about him. It's because I signed him on Football Manager quite a lot, and it's a name I recognise. So,
well, you had the right idea.
Yeah, what's he like as a
player? Joe, he's got a very rich history of his academy days at Chelsea Academy.
That's it. Yeah,
he's in the same group as Levi Colwill and Jamal Musiala, and he was touted as one of the best players in that group. Yeah. I think he was unfortunate not to sort of progress at Chelsea, and the way he went, and you could tell he's a Cobham player, and you can tell he's of that ilk because he's almost very similar to Sam Smart, very technical. The low centre of gravity definitely suits them, and he was at Aldershot actually, and a lot of their fans felt the reason he didn't do anything at Aldershot last season was because he wasn't very physical enough.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think I think the South is probably physicality is very important, and I don't think it's bothered him at all because he's just that sort of technically astute.
And I think he will do really well because it is a technical league, I think he went, actually.
Really exactly. Yeah, and I think after that he went. I think he probably went too low when he went to South
Park, Reigate. Yeah,
he went far too low. Then he probably should have gone.
But that was him joining
a little bit
higher,
or even. Yeah, well, yeah, no, that is true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
it's nice to see him enjoying their football as well, actually. And also, there's been quite a lot of noise about Richard Chin joining from Charlton.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about
him. Not a player that there's not a player that Tom might be able to tell you a bit more about him. It's not a player that I really knew about.
I could tell you, Chin. He's. I mean, I've seen. I don't know if you guys are aware. I think it's Callum Howell on Twitter, the Yeovil fan.
Yeah.
He touted it as his National League South signing of the summer. I think, which I don't think is too. I mean, I wouldn't maybe say definitively, but I don't think that's far off at all. I think he is something else. He's very versatile. He's just got a great pedigree. He's played. You can count on you count on two hands how many times he's played League One games, and he earned himself a deal at a pro deal at a League One club. You can't really put that down. He did trials with Ebbsfleet and Hartlepool, so he clearly wasn't set to go to the National League South. What has happened now, I'm not sure, but I just think he's such a strong addition to any squad in this league. I think he starts probably any side in this league personally, and I think based just on pure versatility, he can play left back, right back, at any point in midfield. He's played on the wing for us at the weekend, so I really think, and he didn't look out of place in the wing at all. He looked like he was playing a winger his whole life. So I'm really confident about this signing.
That's important as well. It's versatility, isn't it? You want that player who can play multiple positions, cover those who are injured. I'm trying to recall where he was last season, because I'm sure I've heard his name.
He went on loan to Bath and Dartford.
That would be it, yeah. And I think he stood out for those games as well. So, I think he's a top quality signing for you guys, and definitely one to watch. And ultimately, I guess that's what you guys are trying to build.
Yeah, I mean, Spencer's definitely pulled some sort of magic trick off there to get him in. But he said, like, even in one of his post-match interviews about him, that it's not all about the money for him at the minute. It's he's come to us because he recognises the club that we are and what we as a club can do for him in terms of his progression. So I think he's a good player, but I think we'll be lucky to keep him for a whole season. I think maybe if he performs as well as what we believe he can do, and what Spencer believes he can do, I think he'll be gone by Christmas, New Year.
It's very exciting times for Farnborough. I mean, it's not just the fact it's location. Yes, London, it helps you, I guess, with these sort of players, of course, and that's something that historically we always go, Torquay, we have the issue with. But I think it just shows how exciting maybe the noise around your football club and reputation is. So go back a bit further about sort of, especially like ourselves and Torquay fans and anyone listening to it, just about Farnborough and like the rise, and just kind of, is this literally like, wow, this is probably the most exciting part in your history now, or is it like we're going to keep going up and up, or is it just what's the noise around the club?
I wouldn't say it's the most exciting part of our history, but I think it's definitely up there. One of the points, it's not our highest level. We were the highest ever league finish is 5th in the Vanarama National League. I believe that was 95, but it's that was Farnborough Town, so obviously the club had to change 2007, and I think since that point it's been a few ups and downs, but a lot of up, and especially the recent years, promotion from Step 3 in 2022, I think, and then just constant progression since we come back into the league. I think there is, and I think people are definitely starting to see it now, a buzz around the club, especially the form towards the end of last season. I think Tourist came after the game with the 0-0 with you lot, came as a part of a very long undefeated streak for us, spanning from February to April, really, until
that game was huge in our recent history as well.
Well, because that was that last time Gary Johnson.
Yeah, last time Gary Johnson in charge.
A lot changed after that 0-0 draw.
Yeah,
You're welcome, guys. You're welcome.
Cheers. I was thinking, what was that game? I watched that game on stream. Crikey, what a classic!
It wasn't riveting, but.
We do tend to have a lot of the classic 0-0s.
But I remember, like, I saw Farnborough twice last season. I saw it in person, even in the home game, which I'm just going to double check. Yeah, it was 3-0, but I remember that game 3-0. It didn't feel like a 3-0 game at all. I could probably find the episode of it. I was really praising of teams we played at the start, like Chippenham and Farnborough of the season. And I was like, they're not here to come here and just put 11 behind the ball. They're here to really play football. And a lot of these teams embarrassed Torquay last season when we were just very disrespectful, it felt, to a lot of these teams. And I think that's the thing this season. Obviously we know the vibe around our football club is we want to push out, but we've also, like, St Albans everyone's talking about as well. But Farnborough, really, really well-run team, and it's exciting. I actually, as a football fan, I'm really excited for the season. I hope we're all involved in this quite exciting season.
I think with us that we know as a club, obviously, like with the coaches and the manager and the directors and everyone behind the scenes that does everything, we know that where our place is. Do you know what I mean? We're not. We know the last couple of seasons we probably have overachieved in terms of where we finished. everybody was really excited last season at the possibility of us just scraping into the playoffs, but it wasn't to be, obviously. But and we know as a club that the Spencer and that have said many times last season that we're one of the lowest in the league budget wise. So we know we can't compete with the likes of Torquay, even last season, the Ovals, and now we've got Boreham Wood.
Still be wise. It can still be wise.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clubs in this league now this season that are operating on that full-time or hybrid sort of business, which we're not, obviously.
Well, I think I don't as much as obviously it's a money thing. I think we're one of the best teams at this sort of level for being able to credit ourselves on building and signing those great players, not based on money.
It's all about recruitment.
The environment. I think it's more the environment we sort of created at the club, and the fact we've shown we can foster a player who's maybe fallen down the levels, who is talented, and we can put them back out there. You look at,
and that's what our clubs are for. That's what our clubs are for.
Yeah. I think you look at sort of players like Alfie Pavey. He had a fantastic season for us, and we set him up, and he went to Woking, and the club didn't have any sort of negative feeling towards that. It was beneficial for us. We got him on a free transfer. Beneficial for Alfie. I imagine he raked the money in. It was Woking after all, and it creates a sort of narrative that other players can, like Richard Chin. I can't imagine we were the highest level offer he had. It shows him that if he wants to go back,
totally with you.
He can have a great environment for that sort of thing.
Talk a bit about Spencer Day. Obviously, how important has he been to your football club for some time?
Well, how long has it been? It's been 13 years. 13th season with us.
I think in the top 6 levels, he's the second longest serving manager.
Because I did have a look into it. I've known him for a while, and I didn't realise it was quite. What was that? 2011. It was
2011.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Google's good, isn't it?
yeah.
But no, I know he's been around for a while.
Long ago now, does it?
Yeah, no, it's that's mad.
He's been around a long time.
But what's it like having a manager that's got that continuity through your football club?
I think it's important. It obviously is important, especially with like Tom was saying, the environment that he and his team create at the club of looking after players. We know obviously we're a part-time club. We don't pay as much as other clubs, even other part-time clubs in our league. But it's the way that they look after the players that are here or have been here, and it's the reason why some players have returned and numerous times. Like John Oyeniga is one who has been and gone a few times. They keep coming back because they like the club. They like the people at the club. They like the way that they've been treated. And Spencer is a big part of that. Spencer is a massive part of that. He helps everybody out as best as he can. The club does it. They all do it at the club. He's doing. I don't know if in the future, if he does go, if he gets snapped up by someone else, I'm not really. It's a scary thought, really, because I don't really know who would come in, because let's not forget. I mean, we said this. I think we said this on when we had you on our episode, Thomas, that he doesn't take a wage at the club.
Yeah.
So he's not. I mean, none of the coaches earn anything at the club. They might get a little bit of. They may get a little bit of expenses like travel, especially with the long distances, like to you guys and to Truro and places like that last season. But he doesn't take anything from the club, take a penny from the club. It's all. And if you think a manager at this level earns 35-40 grand a year, for example, so that's what we hear. It might be more. Depends on the club. That's if he's taken that, that's a big chunk out of a player budget.
Yeah.
So
no, we've done that.
I think
he's not doing it so we can get those players.
Yeah.
Personally, with Spencer Day, I'm 19. I've followed the club since I've been taken since I was a boy, and I was 6 years old when he became the manager of the club. So since I've sort of been consciously aware of what a football club manager is. Yeah. Since I've been sort of consciously aware of what a football club manager is, all I've known at my club is one, and it's Spencer Day. So I don't really think of anyone else. I don't think anyone else really suits it. don't know. I think that's probably quite a unique feeling, especially at this level.
It's going to be like Arsenal fans when Wenger left for you, and obviously, it's going to be mad, really. But that is some achievement. We talk about obviously Mark White. We talk about him before we start recording, but it's nice to hear. There's also like football management stories of that, because I think there's so much for loyalty in football. I mean, you look up the leagues with like Eddie Howe. I know he left for Burnley and come back, and it's the only real story where he obviously took Bournemouth to the Premier League, where a manager has stayed, and there's must have been many chances. And so many managers we had at Paul Buckle years ago where they did so well, but they got to the point where right, I need a new challenge, or I can jump on now. You then find that manager, it doesn't work. Then they can't work the magic back at original level, and that's then done in football unless they're a coach.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more, as we said, that managers probably should. I mean, there's all loyalty in football, isn't there? Should probably just stay on a bit more. Players understand more, but
I think it's obviously I think it's obviously slightly different at this level, because it's a part-time division.
Yeah.
So you don't normally necessarily get that sort of knee-jerk reaction of clubs sacking managers because they're not doing very well.
Yeah.
That you would get in the professional leagues. So at this level, even at National League level, I mean, even though the majority of National League is professional, but even there, you do get sort of managers that stick around at clubs for a lot longer than 18 months.
I think also it's got to do with a player's part of a club isn't the entire project, but a vision of a club and what's going to happen on the pitch is completely a manager's project, and unless the owners get involved, but they're brought in to have a project, an idea of the way the team plays. So I think being able to install your own, especially after a good few years, installing your own mentality across the club, it must become increasingly difficult to sort of depart from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I ask about sustainability at Farnborough? So for those who don't know, of course, Farnborough FC were revived from Farnborough Town Football Club that went into liquidation, sadly. Obviously, look at that. There you go.
There you go. The old club badge.
Yeah. Do you guys, obviously, you told me you're still quite, new-ish, I would suppose, to Farnborough.
Yeah.
Alan, I don't know if you know a little bit more about Farnborough Town and the sustainability side and what went wrong with the original Farnborough Town. I don't know.
I could tell you a belief story of it to do with a man called Graham Wesley. I'm not sure he's the most popular.
The man who shall not be named.
Torquay fan bases either for a certain alarm call.
He's our Voldemort.
Well, yeah. We'll just say.
I've heard this now, actually. Oh, I think I know where you're going to go. I feel like I read it before, even on his right. Yeah, go on. I think
he spoke about. Yeah, he spoke about. I think it was Under the Cosh. He went
Under the Cosh. Yeah, no.
Yeah, he said his part, but I don't think he's to be believed at all. I'm a Farmer fan, but we played. So it was 2003-04 season. It was actually 02-03. It was 02-03. It was the season before Arsenal's invincible year. It was exactly 2 years before the day I was born. Farmer played Arsenal. It was meant to be played at Cherrywood Road. It was drawn that way. Obviously, the rule was different then, that you couldn't switch a game over. But Arsenal said, we'll switch it to the Emirates so everyone can go, and Farmer get the gate receipts, which was, I think I can't say for sure on figures or something, but I believe £500,000. I believe is known.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think at the time it was
or the equivalent
of $250,000. Now. It was about 250 grand, I think.
It might be today's sort of figures. And Graham Wesley was our owner, manager, I believe at the time, something to do with that. And he obviously taken us there. We lost 5-1, got a goal. It was a lovely day for the club. Everyone, I think we were 4-0 down when we scored, but you would have thought we'd won in the last minute. As Rocky Baptiste scored, it was a beautiful day for both clubs, I suppose you could say. And then obviously Farnborough earned that money, and then not very sort of imminently after, Graham Wesley dropped everything to do with the club, took that large chunk of money, which wasn't his, it was Farnborough's money. It wasn't his money to do that with, and invested it in Stevenage, and that led to their sort of, not quite as meteoric as like a Dorking or something, but they ended up in, I think, was it League One playoffs last year, and we ended up folding as a club. So you could say it's the sort of the balance, and that's the general gist of things. And it led to a bit of dedication in the club, leading to 2007, where we had to reform as Farnborough Football Club. And then it's sort of been a bit of a growth in there. There was a moment where we had to take a voluntary relegation from step 2 to step 4 in 2015 to do with financial as well. But I'd say we've got to give a lot of credit to the current manager Spencer Day for sort of fixing that, turning that around, and saving the club and putting us back where we belong.
I'm going to say that was quite an interesting time to, reform as a new club, rise up the pyramid, and then to go through that sort of fear again that, your new club in Farnborough could have to fold again. I mean, how did that feel as a fan perspective?
With that second time round, it's just the old people that were running the club were just running it poorly, basically, and like Tom said, we went into financial difficulties again.
Graham Wesley's fault, I'll add.
Yeah, and obviously we had to take that relegation, but we were also hit with I think it was a £30,000 bond, which a lot of these clubs that face this have to pay in order to sort of get as a guarantor kind of thing to be in the league. And I think we had a player called Louis Theophanous. Cracking striker. He was a cracking striker. Cristiano Ronaldo's body double at one point as well.
For Nike advertisements.
Yeah. And I think we sold him for that sort of amount of money. I think I can't remember where he went to now, but
he's been all over the gaff since. He's
been all over the place, yeah. But the money that we generated from that paid the bond, and that allowed us to compete in that. I think it was step 3 or step 4.
It dropped us from. We got relegated from the National South, and then hit with that, so we had to take a voluntary to step 4 because we didn't have the money to take a step 3 season.
Yeah. Was there a point as well where you felt like the tide had finally turned after the financial troubles, and your club, you felt as fans that the club was safe and you could start progressing back up to where you are today, and hopefully in the future even higher up the pyramid?
Well, I think probably the owners and management priorities today is make sure the club that never happens again. I think that they've taken that sort of past and made it a prerogative of the club because I think we're pretty much completely debt free at the moment, and it's all about sustainability. So, and it is just, and then progress.
That's a rare thing for a football. It's a rare thing for a football club, even at this level or at any level, to be like Tom said, to be pretty much debt free.
Well, you look at what Woking are doing. Hey, well, it's interesting with Hayes and Yedden. I think, given our story and their story, it's like the thing that happened with us as Stevenage. When they had obviously a very heavy season of spending on their squad, 21-22, that's that free season. Going down, well, they should have won the league. They scored over 100 league goals, likes of Francis Amati and Moses Manuel, Jordan Orville-Williams, who's popular to Farnborough fans, Omar Rote, unbelievable squad that year. We went and smash and grabbed them we went and hit them with a smash and grab in the final. So Francis Marty got sent off, won us the game essentially. 2-1. They've gone to step 4 since, and we've pushed for promotion to step 1.
It's quite brutal, isn't it? Like we might have a amount of clubs, they go for it or they get promoted, and then they end up in a much worse place because they lose their best players and they don't have the finances for it anymore. It's really sad actually how clubs
they've overinvested in seasons before.
It's such a risk. It's a massive. I mean, you look at the Championship, the Premier League, maybe even League One, where clubs are doing it, they're putting all their eggs in one basket, and sometimes it works. But sometimes, even if it doesn't work, they might still be okay. But at our level, you put all your eggs in one basket, you might, and it doesn't work. That could be you done for the season. Look at Hampton and Richmond last season. Big budget, massive budget. Had all the players, Mason Bloomfield, who's now our striker. It didn't work, and now they're in dire straits, I think.
I think that comes down to not being able to do a fit and proper owners test at that point, because those owners were there for less than a year. That's completely on the level in the league for not quality.
We've talking as have gone through stuff. It's not just about fit and proper; it's fit and having like a football business plan, being football people, and having those people in and understanding. It's the prerogative
at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's understanding it. It's not just you've got money.
But here's a question I've got for you two. Obviously, fans of a club that have been at the Football League level, where the fit and proper person test for owners is a thing. Now down here at this level, it doesn't seem to. I've not really. People can just sort of take over clubs.
It's more on the club
willy-nilly when they want. Is it? I don't know if you guys know at this level. But is it a thing? Is there such a thing as a fit and proper person test for owners at this level?
From Torquay's point of view, it's more administration who had the most funds, who could prove the business plan. But I mean, again, I'm not too sure. And even levels where are these fit and proper, they don't bloom work. Evidently,
no.
Look at Reading.
Many clubs. Look at Reading. Yeah,
I mean,
it's disgraceful what's happening.
From our perspective, we were we had Thea Bristow, who, God bless her, put a lot of her lottery winnings into the club, but I think she'll admit she's not the most, football business mindset. She was more
to be the money and the football business. Every owner, when I come into football club, to go, right, here's the funds, great, but also we're going to put some business people. So every football club runs. That's all people want to see. I want to see football clubs. I don't want to see 1 year one club's gone massively and the next year they're done.
Yeah. I think that's why you're lucky. You've got Neil Warnock, alongside everybody else at the top of the club. Because he's a man that's got you can tap into the last couple of years' knowledge that he's got. He's probably forgotten more than anyone will ever know.
It's incredible. It's incredible to think that he was manager for us back in the early 90s, and we stayed up that year, and that kind of revived his football and his managerial career. And he had such a great career, and he holds us in such high regard to come back 30 years later and not being paid in a completely advisory role. And he's not lost the passion for it. He's been at every preseason game. He goes to training all the time. He's got a really good relationship with Watton. I mean, just to think where we were, at that Farnborough game, watching my football club just like dying in front of our eyes, and it was just so hard to watch, to now where the club is now and the potential we've got for this season and the feel good factor. It's just, I don't know how we've struck it so lucky. Like it's been
in terms of character, that is somebody you want. What a living, breathing legend of the football.
And it was a chance, meet up with Michael Westcott on the train going down to the West Country that he saw Neil Warnock. Managed to talk to him for a bit, and that was it. It was set in stone there, and it was, it's just fantastic. He's such a cracking guy. I met him once as well at the at home game, and he's going to be great for us. And it's going to be a fantastic season.
That all our owners, away from Warnock, are all businessmen who are successful, but also see and speak about, no, actually, as much as, we want to make this club sustainable, they've come in and told exactly, and every owner who owns a football club should be like that. It's not an asset thing. It's just, I'm probably going to come in and lose money, actually, but it's, I want to get that sorted, and that's a crucial thing at all these football.
I mean, look, it's
not their club at the end of the day. It's a fan club.
Exactly.
It's the old adage. You don't go into football to make money, because it's never going to happen. So you've got the right people now. You look what it looks like from the outside. You've got the right people running the club now. You've got the right guy helping out in Neil Warnock. Like I said, he's probably forgotten more about football than anyone there at the club currently knows.
Gary Johnson could be further away, which is great.
No, exactly, yeah. And you've got. I think you've got. I think you've got the right manager for your club currently in Watton, because what he did last season at Truro was really good. Absolutely brilliant season with them. Seems like a great manager. Knows the game, knows the level. And that's the important thing as well. And his recruitment has been really good.
Yeah, no, I think it's sensible. We all think it's good.
We're cautiously optimistic, aren't we, Sam? We're trying to be cautiously optimistic.
So in the episode, right, is a game we're going to do. Me and Tom will predict where Farnborough are going to finish, and you two are going to tell us where Torquay are going to finish. All right?
Okay.
Right, we'll go first. I reckon Farnborough will come. I'm going for 7th.
I was going to say 7th as well.
I think you're going to get players. I think I'll probably agree with that.
All right, where do you think you two come?
Well, I was going to say 8 for Torquay. So.
I think
But I say that I think you'll get a season. You'll find your feet. You'll be very
slow burner. We're all saying,
and then you'll be champions or playoff winners the season after.
Yeah, I agree. I think you've recruited the right type of player that you need for this league. You've got the right manager for this league. And I think you'll finish 8th. And I think if you're lucky, if you get like those games where you get like last minute winners, that those games will push you into 7th.
I think
change my mind to 24th now, please.
I think a lot of people, non-talking people, are agreeing with you. I mean, a lot of people have said it with our playoffs, and I can see it happening. I can also see if we're managed well, we can finish third. I said fourth for us on our go one today.
I don't think it won't be unheard of. It's not out of the realms.
No, exactly. Yeah,
especially with the difficulty to predict this league.
Yeah, it's all about how many chances we
absolutely.
create this season, really, isn't it?
We've got quite a tough start. Going to Farnborough, expecting a big crowd, hopefully for you guys as well. I imagine we'll take plenty. And as I said on your podcast the other day, it's something quite apropos about starting the season. Our first away game is Farnborough, where for us it was the lowest of the low, and everything that transpired since. So it'll be something quite nice about knowing that I was one of the 150 there that was handing out yellow cards for this planned protest that never happened because the owners couldn't take it anymore and withdrew the funds, to now where we're going to have hopefully a big following and hopefully a very a great game to be had. And if you guys can get 2,000 there, I think that'll be a cracking day out for all involved.
I think to have a team like you guys come into us, I think we need to be pushing for those kinds of figures. So we need you to bring a lot more than what you're thinking, really.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm sad I can't go. I'm trying back from holiday that day. I'm really annoyed about that. But
we're looking forward to it. We're going to be there. We're going to be there.
Yeah, this episode will come
Thomas,
out.
I know you're going to be there,
before,
Tom. So we'll have a drink with you.
Yeah,
when you turn up.
Each, not just one single cup, like.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
so I reworded it. I said we'll have a drink with you. Last week I said we'll share a drink.
Yeah, I'll leave all your links in the description below. Please check out the podcast, and good luck for the season. And we'll see what our predictions come out at the end, I'll say.
Thanks you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
And I watch your episodes quite a lot, and I think they're brilliant. You're doing a really good thing for the club as well, especially after what happened.
Yeah, it's nice. We've been recognised for that as well, which is great. So
exactly. Yeah, so you've done really good, and well done.
Thank you for having us, guys. I can comfortably say Torquay are my second favourite yellow and blue club.
Very good. And thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next episode.